How can you make as much progress on guitar as possible? In this video, I will share 5 proven and powerful ways to learn guitar faster according to science. My name is Simen and I'm a guitarist, music producer and graphic designer from Norway. I'm here to share everything I've learned so far in my journey and document what I learned in real time. The first one comes from a podcast episode I heard from neuroscientist Andrew Huberman and Cal Newport, computer science professor and author. So Cal Newport studied a professional guitar player to figure out what professionals do differently than average players. Here's what he found. For them, it's all about adding 20% to what they're comfortably doing and then pushing past where they're comfortable. Every time they're practicing, it's almost entirely in a state of not being comfortable. He also said that this is why many players don't reach the professional level, because they spend too much time being comfortable and playing things they already know. So when it feels challenging, you're doing something right. So, number 1, discomfort. And the next one is especially powerful when learning new songs or remembering new information. Cal Newport talks about this next thing I'm about to reveal in the same podcast episode. He says this is the best and by far the most powerful way to learn new information. It's basically a life hack. He also says it doesn't take much time, but it's incredibly mentally draining. If you're willing to essentially put up with that pain, you learn very quickly. And not only do you learn very quickly, you don't forget. And this is active recall. Active recall is when you try to remember information from your memory after you have consumed the information, instead of just consuming it again. So this could be looking at tabs or sheet music when you are learning a song, then take a break. And when you come back, don't look at the tabs. Instead, try to play what you remember from memory. Then you can look at the tabs after to confirm what you just played. Number 3 is often used together with active recall, and it's also very powerful together with active recall. In the 1880s, a psychologist named Hermann Ebbinghaus came up with a forgetting curve. This shows how fast you forget new information. And the biggest loss of information is straight after you have learned something. To solve this, you can use spaced repetition. This simply means spacing out your practice sessions. By doing this, you are going to remember more. Here's what Ebbinghaus said about spaced repetition. With any considerable number of repetitions, suitable distribution of them over a space of time is decidedly more advantageous than the massing of them at a single time. This is also especially powerful when learning songs. So instead of trying to nail a song in one big practice session, you're going to learn faster if you space it out into multiple smaller practice sessions. One thing I like to do is to randomly during the day just sit down with my guitar and then play through a song I'm currently learning. Just randomly and just play through it like once. It doesn't take much time, but it's incredibly powerful. And I'm very excited about the next one because I think there's a lot of potential here, and that is muscle memory. Brett Johnson, who is the CEO of something called Switch On Training, also has a background in neuroscience, and he explains muscle memory in 3 stages. Stage 1 is the cognitive stage. This is when you're learning a new movement or skill. Your movements are slow and inefficient. And there's high activation in the prefrontal cortex, which is your brain's thinking region. From there, you progress to the associative stage, during which your brain is still working hard, but your movements are becoming more fluid and consistent. Muscle memory is achieved when you reach the autonomous stage. Your performance is now smooth and accurate. Your brain's main activity has switched to the basal ganglia, the region involved with automatic functioning. One way you can take advantage of this is to do some technique work every single day. It can only be like 5 minutes. Technique relies so heavily on muscle memory, so do this as often as possible and you're going to improve so much faster. However, there is one thing to keep in mind when it comes to muscle memory. Because let's say you are practicing technique and you have bad form and bad technique, then your muscles will be used to that bad technique, and that's not good. So it's important to do this correctly. If you want to make sure you do this perfectly, you should check out my website, playwithaplan.com. The next course I'm going to release will be called Technique Fundamentals. I'll leave the link in the description. And the last one is a fun one from sleep expert Matthew Walker. He says that sleep is an incredible problem solver. Because during deep sleep, your brain will go through all the new stuff you learned that day. And it's also going to try to connect all the information. So what you can do is to think about or visualize something challenging on guitar straight before you go to sleep. And then the brain will actually work through this while you are sleeping. And when you wake up, you might see everything with much more clarity. I haven't tried this for myself on guitar, so I definitely need to try this. So that's 5 ways you can learn guitar faster according to science. Let me know in the comments which of these you're going to implement yourself. And if you enjoyed this video, you should check out the video on the screen next, where I go through exactly what to learn on guitar in order.